We're very happy to be here. We are Parco Associati, Filippo Pagliani, Michele Rossi from Milan, and we are going to present you this project of Tenoha, Milano. We started with a very short video.
Okay. The story of this project was really about a Japanese company that developed his business working with Italian products and bringing Italian products to Japan. And a few years ago, they decided to have a concept store where they have food, restaurant, shop, and co-working spaces, all with a very Italian culture. So selling Italian culture, selling Italian food. And 1 year ago, we were approached by the company to ask to bring this concept in reverse to Milan. So the idea was, okay, we bring food, Italian food to Tokyo. Why don't we bring Japanese product and Japanese food in Milan? So they asked us to develop a concept where the two cultures were matching together and try to work with this idea of having, a Tenoha Milano, this is the name of a concept store in Japan, and create a shop that in some way brings the two souls together. And in some way it was not just Italy, it was mainly Milan and Tokyo. So the idea of bringing together the two cultures of the two cities. One of the first developing this concept, we just think that there were a lot of connections between the two cultures. In Japan and Italy have a lot of common, the food of course, and the culture of food, but also a way of working with craftsmanship and wood. So we just working with the idea of typical Japanese detail in wood and how the Italian master of design work with wood and shapes of wood. Another element that we liked was ceramic. They were selling ceramic, Japanese ceramic, but at the same time, ceramic is also a very Italian part of our culture. So we were thinking that this was another part that we can develop in the interior design of a place. And then neon and light. I mean, we have a fantastic fontana art in Museo del Novecento here in Milan. And we think that fontana and this piece speaks for Milan and in some way have a connection with the Japanese culture of light and signage with neon. The other idea that it was very interesting was not just this about the culture, but also the idea of having a space, a big space, because it's almost 2,000 square meters, that is mixing different functions. So it's like a bento box where you have a shape, but at the same time you have inside different functions that works together in a very dynamic way and have a very strict relationship. The space is close to the Naviglio area in Via Vigevano. It's a very live part of the city. And this was the space. This is a building from the early 40s. And it was very interesting for us because the building itself speaks already for the Milanese culture. For us, a space like this is very much about industrial soul of our city. So the space itself was very helpful to create a space that would speak in Japanese inside of a Milanese shell. So we work on the idea of underline the existing industrial structure and not hiding it, but create a space that was inside of this amazing industrial space. And this is the program. The Tenoha is made by different functions, so was very interesting how we work with a layout and try not to make any barrier between the different functions. But it's very interesting how they develop this concept of having a shop and a part that is a restaurant, a part that is a co-working space, and a big part for events that can be adjusted for any kind of solution. Sorry. And this is the plan with all different functions. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we start just entering the project where you have this first part, so this idea of making it sort of coexistent, cohabit of different functions, you can see in this sequence of spaces where we have the shop that is the one that is just in front in the street. So we start moving around with this taste of a sort of very light Japanese way of looking at things with the elements that we were just describing, the lights. There is a very strong and delicate way of looking at the light inside this space. And we have a double entrance. One is directly in the courtyard. So we try really to mix as much as possible the function of this place in a way that you have a sort of horizontal movement inside the space where you can enter from the center, you go directly in the restaurant, but in the same time, when you are inside, you can move in the shop and you can go in the co-working space. This is, I think, the most important part, one of the most important part of the program. The fact that we have tried to keep together different lives and different way of living a space like this. So we have a shop, we have restaurant, we have a work space, and we have a sort of mixed space that is the one that can permit to move between a place and the other, and try to, that is this one, that permits really to have a total and very deep life inside this area. So even here, you can feel a little bit this idea having a sort of different layers between the space that we had and the project that we want to give and to put inside the lines, certain lines of this area. And this is the final part of the co-working. Now, well, these pictures are without people, but today it's full. And obviously it's a space that's very contemporary in terms of what happened today in the workspace in general. And this is the final part. In this 2,000 square meter of program, we have 1,000 that is for event area, where this space is actually is a very open space in the sense that is also open to different events. And as you can see in this sequence of images. And well, this is very short and very quick way to show how we try to mix the two languages and two culture in a place.
But also in
Milan.
terms of a diagram, all these functions can work by themselves and at the same time being very open to connection. And it's very interesting in terms of that. I think it's an interesting project because of that, because we have different layers, different way of using. It's a place where it's it's got almost 24 hours live because the co-working space is open 24 hours, but it can be connected to the other function very easily. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question, but have you been working for them also for the...
No.
Okay, so
The Japanese...
you have the way in, not the way out.
The Japanese shop and co-working space is a very simple. It doesn't have a very strong design attitude. It's very nice, but not design. Not the one in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan, okay.
Yeah.
This is not a question, it's actually more of a comment, but it's a deeply intelligent interiors project, where a lot of projects rely on surface and seduction and imagery. This is a very profound, it's a very profound translation. It's not a question.
We try to keep a line of sort of low profile project. I mean, we didn't want over...
We didn't have a great budget, of course.
Yes, and you can see...
But at the same time, it's like we design everything...
Low budget helps sometimes.
Yeah, until 2 meters high is design. Everything else is just rough and as it was, because we want to underline the beautiful structure. So it's not over-design. That's what we wanted, really.
And we wanted to keep a sort of medium line, trying to keep the two cultures that had a strong language without not invading one on the other. I mean, it was quite delicate, this passage, because if you go over putting too much design on one side or on the other, you could have a crisis on that. So we are happy for this project because we think that it's a good balance, and also the architecture of the existing building was very nice, and we tried to keep it as much as possible in the sense that it was really a box that wanted to keep inside a new design and something that could create a 360 degrees view.
I would like to visit the store, but are you making more stores in Italy that have the same concept?
No,
like
no.
Tenoha? Will you be repeating it in many?
I don't know. We probably see how it's going to work. It's not a chain. They have only 2 stores, so I don't know if they want to. It's not their core business. The core business is really to import Italian products in Japan. So it's more like I wouldn't say a hobby, but it's really a passion of the owner to have these 2 spaces, 2 places. And but if it's working very well, it's probably...
Because I think it's very interesting and,
Yeah,
replicated will be really nice.
Yeah, we see how probably, it's not even 6 months that it's open, so we're probably going to see.
And obviously we invite all of you to have
it's very close.
a lunch or a dinner in the restaurant, and maybe to buy also something, but it seems very good. I mean, it's a very good kitchen. So,
thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.